Hello, everyone. I'm Mel Cherrygate. I'm here in my podcast, Whoever You Are. And today we have Casey. And I'm actually very excited because I was talking to her about it, and she's sober, but it's about how she changed her life, and she has this method that she's gonna explain to us. And she was 8 years sober and not feeling so much as so good about it, and so she went in this search, and so she's gonna explain to us a little bit. Hi, Casey.
Hello, Mel. Thanks for having me.
I love it.
Yeah, so I've been sober about 3.5 years. And so in that process, I wrote a book called Healing from Alcohol, A Spiritual Perspective. Um, yeah, the first year of sobriety was like the absolute worst for me. I felt so disconnected. I thought getting sober would solve all of my freaking problems. But I still felt spiritually disconnected, emotionally disconnected. I didn't know who I was because, I built my entire personality around alcohol and partying and all of that. So, at about 8 months in, I discovered human design after going into an astrology hole. So you might like human design if you're into astrology. It kind of uses some of those same, or that's one part of the system. So it combines the ancient wisdoms of astrology, the I Ching, the Hindu chakra system, and modern systems like quantum mechanics and genetics into this one amazing blueprint for living in alignment with who you actually are. And this is the one thing that pulled me out of the dark depths of of
Yeah.
that dark night of the soul part of my early sobriety. And it just it helped me so much just be authentic and honest with who I really am, that I went to school for a year at the International Human Design School, to be able to share it with people and to be able to teach a living your design class, and guide people through understanding who they really are. So,
I'm so excited because like I was telling you, for me it was the same. I thought, okay, I'm sober now. The sober glow is gonna come and everything's gonna be fine, and did not happen at all.
no, no, people talk about this pink cloud, and I'm like, what is that? I never got to experience
Where
it.
is it, right? So for
Yeah.
me, it's very similar, and for me it was I went to this reaching out to people and starting the podcast, and this is really helping me to build like who I really am, because I do believe that the problem was that I didn't know who I was at all, like I said. And like I'm
Yeah.
47, I have a daughter. I mean, I made a lot of things in my life, and I didn't know who I was. When my father died 6 years ago, it was like I lost my identity, and
Mm.
completely. Like, okay, he's gone, I'm gone, and so I went. I started to drink more, and now I think I'm on the path of finding myself and being able to sit with myself. That was really hard. Like just
That was extremely hard for me too. Like I couldn't be alone with myself for 2 fucking minutes, and I think there's such an underrated. I think the sitting with silence is so important in discovering yourself. And that's why I just I the title of my book is called Go to the Desert, because I finished writing my book in the desert when I didn't have any outside influence. I didn't have any external influence
noise.
going on, so I could just sit with myself and return to myself, you know.
And you said you lived in New York, and then you left everything,
Yeah.
and just,
Yeah.
just wanted
Yeah.
to
When I
unknown.
got Yes, when I got sober, everything felt unaligned. I'm like, what is this life I've built for myself? It all revolved around alcohol, party culture. I didn't even have a car in New York, and it was great because I didn't have to drive. So, but I knew that I also worked in the film industry, and that is just such a hard industry. I was completely burnt out. I wasn't happy at my job. New York, there was no nature there. I needed so much more nature when I got sober, and I didn't know where I wanted to go. So I bought a camper and left and finished writing my book in the
So
desert.
this is so cool. I know that I live in Portugal, and here the wine culture, it's crazy. You know,
Yes.
people drink wine like in the breakfast almost.
It's cheaper than water there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And for a minute, it was really like, oh, wine, sitting on the beach, that's awesome. But then suddenly my wine was next to my bed. So then it's not so glamour anymore because then I needed alcohol. And like I say, my husband still drinks. He drinks every day, but little,
Oh,
but he does.
uh-huh.
And I have to deal with that.
Yeah,
And I have to deal with people drinking around me all the time,
yeah.
and because I was feeling so lost, uh, it was too hard for me. It was really, really hard. And now that I think I'm finding myself more, it's more like it's not something that I can't do. It's something that I'm choosing not to do. I'm choosing.
Absolutely.
And then
Yes.
you change the perspective. Like, I don't want this for myself. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm not drinking. And I'm not looking to other people because, it's my journey. And so that really helps. So, okay, but you told me that you want to do like, it's like a reading or
Yes,
what?
I can just do a mini reading and just tell you the highlights of this is the basis of my method, the spiritual sober method. I help sober curious women unlearn the reasons why they needed alcohol using human design, this system. So,
Okay.
are you ready to get into yours?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
ready.
Okay, awesome. So, the main thing in human design is that there are four aura types. So I'm just going to run through those really quick so that we can get a
Okay.
basic understanding of the most core concept in human design. So most of the world is generators. I'm a generator. That is 70% of the population. And they're the worker bees. They're the ones that have the most energy. There's also manifestors who are 9% of the population, and they are the initiators and kind of a king queen energy. And then we have projectors who are the guides, and they are 17 to 20% of the world. And then reflectors are only 1%, and they're here to reflect. So imagine, we're going to build some pyramids. So the manifestors are like initiating, they're like, let's build a pyramid. Okay, let's get this going. And then the generators are like, okay, we're going to build it brick by brick. And then the projectors are like, wait, but you're doing it wrong.
Oh, that's
let's
so
do it more. Let's do it more like this. Let's push the wheelbarrows like this and stack it better. It'll be more efficient this way. And then the
okay.
reflectors are walking around like approving or disapproving, kind of.
Okay, that's so cool. Yeah, it makes a lot of
Yes.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you resonate with any of those? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
That's
I think
okay.
I think a lot about the I think too much about what's happening and how is the world going and how people are doing some things, and I think it could be done in another way, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's that's definitely an accurate reflection of your chart. What I'm looking at right now, you're a projector, so
Oh,
you're 17 to 20% of the population. You're here to guide. You're not really supposed to do as much work as generators. So I'm curious if you've ever felt burnt out in your life, like you should be doing more, or you don't have as much energy. What?
completely.
Yeah.
Completely. That's why it was always so hard for me. It makes so much sense that you're saying that because I always felt like I was on the backstage.
Oh, interesting.
you know, like I'm like my husband, he has a big career and he works a lot, and I was always beside him, helping and guiding and help him achieve that, but he was the one doing it.
Doing the work. Yeah, that's interesting because your husband might be a generator.
Yeah, probably.
You know, if he has more energy. But what's interesting about that dynamic is that you can almost borrow this sacral juicy life force from generators. So when you're around generators, you can feel like you have energy, but it's not actually your own energy. So in order to come back to yourself and your authenticity and your own energy, it's recommended that you sleep alone so that you stop pulling that
That's
fake
so
energy.
cool because for me, always sleeping alone was better. And
Yeah.
actually, oh my God, this is crazy because I was thinking about today this, I was thinking before our meeting that like when I get too excited, that like I'm doing something now with the podcast, and then I have all these interviews and people are writing me, and then I'm loving doing it, but I need some time. Like I go into this like here, and then I need to
Yes.
stop and
Yes.
just come back to myself. I can be
Yes.
doing. It's that then
Yeah.
for me, I go to like a burnout, like you
Yes,
said.
absolutely. Projectors, it's the easiest type to burn out. Because when you do work, you do it so efficiently that you can do like twice the amount of work as generators in like a shorter amount of time. And so it's very easy for you to go very deep very quickly in a subject and then burn out quicker. So it is also recommended. I mean, you might like naps.
Yeah,
Projectors love naps, you know.
yeah,
Um,
like breaks, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I feel that.
um, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm glad you resonate with that. So what else is standing out in my chart and where I like to go first with clients is the emotional center. Let me just show you. Um, oh, the book is not over
I
there.
love it.
Um,
Great.
but essentially what a chart looks like, I don't have it next to me, but
It's okay.
it had basically there's centers. There's 9 centers and each of the centers have a different theme.
Okay.
So what I like to go through with my clients is the emotional center. And this looking at your emotional center is undefined, which means that you are the human design definition of an empath. So you can absorb and amplify emotions that are around you. So I also have an undefined emotional center, and I was called the super sensitive one growing up, you know, because we are absorbing and amplifying emotions around us.
No, it
And
definitely resonates with me that.
yeah, so it's like we're all the time, if we're not aware of this, then we can carry so much that is not ours. But when we become aware of this, then we can consciously release what's not ours and be like, oh, what am I feeling that is my husband's or my child's or whoever I'm in the room with? Like, let's check in with ourselves and see if this is actually our emotion.
Oh, that's really cool. I read that book. I don't know if you heard about, but it's from Mel Robbins, the Let Them
Let them.
Theory. Yeah, Let Them. Everybody knows this book,
I
and
know. That's pretty good.
yeah, but it's exactly like this. This let them and let me, right? And it is this like I think people think too much like how can I change his behavior, and I know that me and my husband we fight a lot. Sometimes we used to fight a lot because I wanted him to be different, and he is like I think like you're saying this bee that work, and I need a break,
Yeah.
and and so we used to fight a lot until I okay, just let him be, you know.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
wants to go to the supermarket every day because he doesn't
Let him.
let him, okay, so goes now, and it's okay.
Well,
And
then that gives you a break, and this is where I love human design when it comes to relationships, because when you can understand that, like, your partner doesn't have as much energy as you, or your partner has an insane amount of energy that you don't have, and you can understand that about each other, then you can just let them be themselves.
yeah, and it's so cool because it's like he has this personality, and we're very different, but it's good because I come with my knowledge of things, or how I think, or how I see
Mhm.
life, and he's
Yeah.
different. But then I see with my daughter, she comes to me for some things and goes to him for other things.
Yeah.
And if you let uh, it can be balanced. It can be good to have like different perspective on things, and then if you come together in the end, but that's a process of learning, like
Absolutely.
right.
And everybody is born with different gifts. Like, there's something called channels in human design, which is like the gifts that you're here to share. And you have a lot of um centers defined, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 9. And you have the head center, the and which is the center of inspiration, and the ajna, which is your thinking mind, and the throat defined, and the center that is your identity. So you have a lot of inspiration coming in all the time, and I bet your mind is very, very busy.
Oh my God. And when I'm creating, it's very difficult for me because
Yes.
I do abstract art, and then I do digital
Mhm.
art, and then I do painting, then I go to drawing, and then suddenly I have this inspiration to do another thing, and then I start to do the podcast, and now I have a lot of but it's good because I every time I do an interview or a chat like we're doing it, for me it comes easy to create something new in each interview. Like talking to the
Yeah.
person and see, oh no, this is gonna be good this way because each person's different. So I do think I read people well. I think I
Yeah,
understand.
absolutely. And there's a human design explanation for that. So you also have a splenic authority, and your authority in human design, this is your decision making process. And your authority is splenic, which is only about 7% of the population. And you also have this gate of intuition, gate 57 defined. So you are very connected to your intuition. Even if you don't realize it right now, you are capable of tuning into it. So the way that you're supposed to make decisions to align to your highest version is going to be your intuition in the moment. So your splenic hits, as we call it, or guidance, it likes to speak very softly once, and then it doesn't speak again. So once your mind gets involved, and this might be hard for you because you do have a very busy mind, because your mind wants to jump in and rationalize things, and come up with all of these reasons why you shouldn't do it or why you should do it.
Yeah.
But the splenic hit is your intuition and your inner knowing. So can you think of a time when you thought something, and then your mind got involved and you did something else, and you were like, oh, I should have done the thing that I knew I should have done in the beginning.
Um, I think, yeah, I think a lot of times
Yeah. So yeah.
it's hard to trust like your intuition sometimes, but I do feel like I have a lot of like guidance
Yes.
from kind of outside, and I don't want to go like to spiritual, but I do feel guided, like sometimes and to make a decision, and
Yeah.
and then sometimes I go more to no, but this doesn't make sense if you rationalize, but
Yeah.
there's
Try.
tell me,
Yeah.
yeah.
The mind is never the authority in human design, and that's what I find so interesting, because once the mind gets involved, it's then your authority is not involved anymore.
Yeah.
So For a contrast, I have a sacral authority, and this is 33% of the population. So anybody listening, you could have a sacral, like there's a chance you could have one of these authorities. But my knowing is in my gut, and it's a yes or no response.
Okay.
So when I'm responding to the world around me, I feel lit up and expanded by something, or I contract. But
Okay.
your splenic hits could be more complex, maybe. So that's why that came up when you said I don't know what I'm going to talk about with people, but we just figure it out on the fly. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's probably your splenic authority and your intuition talking.
Yeah. For me, it's easy to improvise.
Yeah, yes.
Like go with the flow and let's see what happens. And the more I do it and I trust my intuition, the easier it gets.
Yes.
So, and for me, I have like, for me, it's easy to learn another language, I have to everything that it's creative. I'm very, how can I say, very creative. So
Yes.
like, if I have to do a project, I'll probably come up with a lot of ideas very fast. So this
Yeah.
is, I know it's one of my strengths, but it's also one of the things that make me crazy because
Mm.
it's too much sometimes, you know.
Well, another interesting part of your design is called a split definition, and this could feel like two separate internal voices going on, or maybe a scattered feeling or feeling impatient,
Mm,
and this could just make you feel unsettled
yeah.
and like you're always searching for something,
Oh
but
my
it's
God. Yeah.
just, yeah, you relate to that. Yeah.
Relate totally. And one of my problems was that I was always unsettled, and then
Yes.
it seemed when I drank that I got, oh no, okay, I got this. You know, it was like I finally found something that made me less anxious and more
Yeah.
centered. And of course, in the beginning, because then it got worse, and then you really, I think with addiction, you really lose yourself completely. But in the beginning, when I drank, I felt connected because it's like
Yes.
those voices shut down a little bit.
Right. I hear that. And you also have an undefined root, which can also contribute to this impatient
Oh,
feeling.
you're
This
right, I'm
is,
so impatient. Yeah.
yeah, this is the center for stress, but it's like people with an undefined root, like my partner has an undefined root, he just kind of always feels like he wants to relieve the pressure. But you're always going to amplify and distort pressure around you. You might be taking on pressure that's not yours,
Oh,
but
completely.
pressure doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It's just the way we use human design is deciding which pressure is correct for you to act on, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
It makes sense because I think any feeling that we have, that some feelings that we label as bad feelings, are not necessarily bad. They are there for a purpose. You know, like
Yes.
when you feel anxious, it's because you are afraid or something, and this is good because it protects you. But if you feel too much, then it overwhelms you, and like I feel paralyzed when I'm too anxious because then I'm paralyzed with fear, and but it's a necessary feeling that we need to have to protect
Yes.
ourselves. So
Yes.
I do think there's a purpose in every feeling that we have, even if it's labeled as bad.
Absolutely, 100%. And I do tell my clients to look into the cravings that they're having and the underlying need that they need with that, and what alcohol was doing for them.
Yeah. I was
So,
talking to a man that I interviewed yesterday. His name is Life, and we were talking, and he's 22 years sober. And we were talking about that's one thing that I talk with my therapist is that it's not the like if you're on the ocean, you know, the waves are gonna come and it's gonna come the storms, but you need to learn how to surf on it, and without drinking or using anything. Like you need to learn. Okay, this is bad. This is not a good situation, but how I'm gonna react to that, and this is something that is really hard to learn, you know,
Yes.
because we say it seems so cool and easy, but it's not. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, the cravings didn't actually go away for me until about 2.5 years in, but I haven't had a craving in about a year, and it eventually does go away and get easier. But I mean, I do know people that have been sober for 10 years that still have cravings. So,
Yeah, exactly.
for me, it was like, why am I feeling this way? What do I need? How can I, just build my life in a way that I don't feel like I need to escape?
Yeah, I see. I saw. I think I posted a post for you from you that you said. I think it's something like, and if you think you feel you need to drink just because you're alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. And I resonate to me so much because sometimes now that I'm feeling better and I'm actually getting excited about things in life without using anything, sometimes I get scared because it's like, okay, I'm actually doing that without drinking. Like, can I? Is it possible that I'm doing that? And but then it comes like this fear that, oh my God, how long is gonna last? You know, but then I don't have so much cravings anymore. But sometimes I do feel like, oh my God, like it's possible to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
actually is sorry, but it is how it was supposed to be, you know, and
yeah,
there was a time in my life that it was impossible in my mind to think about living having fun without alcohol, like.
right. And something that I've learned about myself in sobriety is that I really I'm not that social of a person,
Now me
to
too.
be honest.
Yeah, I thought myself as I think I love talking to people and it comes really natural and easily for me, but I'm not that person that wants to be like in a party, or I don't want to,
Well,
you know.
that's actually another point about projectors because projectors go very deeply into one person at a time. So in a party situation, you can't focus on like it doesn't feel comfortable to split your energies. So when you're at a party, I bet you only talk to one person at a time.
Yeah, yeah, and uh, but I used to drink, and then I felt like the life of the party, and oh my
Exactly, me too.
God, I'm so like I love everybody, I love people, and it's not like this at all. You know, like,
Right.
and this is cool because then you find this about yourself, and then start to accept that, and then
Yes.
maybe you realize, oh, that's why I felt so anxious and I needed to drink, because it's not something that comes natural to me. So I had to use some artificial ways to feel like, you know. And I remember it was when I was a kid that we would go. I have two brothers, and we would go like to my mom's farm, and we'd be all the cousins together. So we would be like 6, 7 kids, and I hated, hated. I hate it. I would go to my room. My cousin would still tease me about that I was this one that was always in a bad mood, but it was not a bad mood. It was too much for me, you know?
Yeah.
The kids excited and play. I was never that kid, you know? And then I think when I got to my teenager years, I didn't drink, but when I got like 21, 24, then I felt that I needed a social life. Then I started drinking, and
Right.
and then I felt like, okay, now I found something magical that makes me want to be around people all the time.
Right. But I mean, at the same time, we have to question, like, where did we even get that belief that it was like better to be the social one, you know?
Yeah, because
Like, yeah,
people criticize you. I remember since I was a kid, I was bullied and criticized by my brothers and my cousins because I was different, and no one tells you, oh no, it's okay to be like that.
nobody tells you that. I know you have to do it for yourself. And I
Yeah,
totally
and
relate to that
yeah,
100%.
and then here I am, 40 years later, like learning that I it was okay to be like that.
Right. Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's awesome, but it could have been sooner. But
I know, but we can't hold that against
no,
ourselves. I don't know if we'd be talking right now if we discovered
exactly,
it sooner.
exactly. And I think the thing that I'm really getting better at is the shame, because I had a lot of shame about everything I did when I was drunk, and everything I said, and going and had to go to rehab, and so it was a lot of weight and shame and being a mom, and and now I'm looking at with kinder eyes to my journey, because I did not know better, and it was like a life. Also, he said yesterday, alcohol was a solution for me at a time, you know,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
and so it was the way that I could handle, and I did, and that's it. But
Yeah. I
no, I finish, because I don't stop talking, so I'm gonna
I think like moving through sobriety with compassion and grace really is the key to forgive ourselves and just move forward and look towards the future instead of dwelling on the past. I think
yeah,
that's just so important because we're here now, we're doing better, we're doing the best we can every day, and that's it. That's
that
it's
for me the whole point of the podcast was like to talk to people that are doing the work, that are sober, or not sober, but sometimes just dealing with mental health, but looking for a new way of living, and looking to feel better and be better, and give those people voice, so we can help people that are not at the point of stop drinking yet, or are struggling, or I made a video, I think last week, that that person, that it was me, a lot of times, that was I was almost like throwing up, but I needed to drink anyway, because then my body got addicted to the substance. And there's a lot of people that are still on that place, that they still don't know how to get out. So I think all those talks that I'm having uh, are are awesome, because maybe when I was really, really, really bad, if I would listen to people talking about like you were talking, you have this method that it's amazing. I'm loving it, by the way, because it
love
makes
it.
a lot of sense.
Hmm.
And but anyway, people go into A, but people that are doing the work, because it doesn't matter which way you get sober, or you get better in your life, as long as you are being true to yourself, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it is important to create what you wish existed and what would have helped you when you were going through that dark time. And that's why I wrote my book
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna
sharing human
write
design.
the name of the book, and it's on Amazon,
It is
or
on Amazon, yep. And
okay.
it's linked in my profile.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Then
Yeah.
when I post it, I'll make sure that I put the book. And I love this. It was so cool and made so much sense. And I feel
Yeah.
calmer now. Like, okay, maybe I am this way for a reason, you
It's
know.
such a relief, right?
Yeah, it's a relief.
It's
It
a
really,
relief, like knowing these things. And I've never told somebody their human design and they haven't resonated with it. Like every single time they're like, oh my God, I feel so seen.
yeah,
Um, you know.
really. It really changed my perspective. And especially that you said that I'm not supposed to be like the bee that's doing all the work. And I
Yeah.
always felt that I was supposed to do that, but somehow life never um, present itself like this for me. You know,
Yeah.
for some reason I was always like in the backstage and thinking and helping people who are doing a lot, but so it makes a lot of sense for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you have a lot of gifts to share. You're here to share your inspiration. Um, oh, can I share my art? I'm going to share my art really
Of
quick.
course, of course, of course.
This project helped me through early sobriety because I was a party girl, right? But I found broken pieces of glass on the streets of New York, and I recycled it into a broken mirror disco ball.
That's so cool.
Isn't
There's
it
so
so
many
neat?
much meaning behind it.
I know, so much meaning, right?
Yeah, and you still do some artwork, or
What?
you still do some artwork?
Well, my art, so I used to be a tailor in the film industry. Like I've been sewing since I was 11. So, but making it my career, turning my hobby into my career made me very burnt out on it. But I still like
Okay,
to do textile art, so I do dyeing. So,
that's
I've
great.
turned, yeah, so fabric is still my medium of choice, but I do dyeing now, which
That's
is
so
fun.
cool. That's so cool. I'm now. I went back to art school
Oh,
when I was feeling disconnected. I said, no, I'm gonna do something. It really helped me, and and I think little by little I start creating a new life and a new path that I'm enjoying a lot now, and it feels like everything starts to connect and to make more sense. And now today with this your reading, it was really really cool. I love it. It was a great experience.
yay. I'm so glad you
I
resonated
think
with
a
it. I'm
lot of
glad to give a little taste of what I do for anyone listening.
I know that a lot of people were gonna go will reach out to make the reading. I'm sure because it's really cool. I love it.
It's so
And
cool.
and just to finish, because I don't stop talking. I can be like talking for a half an hour or 2 hours, and but I think there's something else that you want to share or any message that you want to say or whatever.
No, I mean, I think we pretty much covered it. I think like, instead of just resisting alcohol, the shift really came for me just returning to my authentic self, focusing on myself. And I think there's such a stigma around like self-care that it can feel selfish.
Yeah.
But I think really like it starts with ourselves and like how can we show up for the world if we're already burnt out, you know?
Mhm.
I think we need to take care of ourselves first, have the courage to be authentic and stand up for what we need and speak up for what we need and say no to what we don't want. And I think so much of the world doesn't know how to say no. And I think
Oh
that's
yes,
a
it's very
huge
true.
problem.
It is. But
Yeah.
well, I love it. Talk to you, and
Yeah. This has
I
been fun.
as soon I'm gonna edit something, then I'm gonna post it, and then I let you know. And I hope everybody's enjoyed. And I see you next time. Thank you, Casey,
Sounds good.
so much.
Thank you so much, Mel.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.